Hi, welcome to Detours Understanding Acquired Brain Injury. And I'd like to welcome a new host. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Kimmy Garrett, and I have a mTBI, and I am here to discuss the mTBI, the symptoms, my journey, and hopefully I can help others in their journey.
Thank you. So she's going to be joining us, Kimmy, and she's going to be talking. She's going to be talking about on her segment. As we do with the other hosts, they each have their own little segment where they can discuss stuff they're interested in, and so each one of us will, we focus on different things. But so we're going to talk today mainly about who you are, what happened, what your background is, what your interests are, that kind of thing. And then we'll be going along mainly dealing with mTBI. As you know, in this channel, we like to call it mTBI because concussion seems to suggest that somehow something different. But truth is, it is a traumatic brain injury. A concussion is, even if you don't hit something, even if it's just a strong jarring, like in an accident or whatever else, you don't have to hit your head on anything. Just a good hard shake is sufficient to do neurological injury. So, as you know, I'm Mark Flatt. I have a moderate to severe traumatic brain injury, but as Kimmy will explain to us, even a so-called mTBI can leave you with lifelong effects, and it can be just as devastating, and in many cases more than a moderate or severe brain injury in many ways. So,
yes, like Mark said, I am an mTBI survivor. Although sometimes I still am an mTBI victim. So I say that because we're not all to the point where we are survivors. So, and I know it's a long journey getting there. My background, my situation, we'll start with what happened. So I was very happy, honestly, skipping to my kitchen to get a cheat day snack. I was just overjoyed with life. Couldn't have gotten any better. And when I opened the freezer door, two Snicker bar ice creams fell to the floor. That was my cheat day snack. And I thought nothing of it. I was, I had hair down to my waist at the time. I was just going to pop down, back up, and be on my way. Unfortunately, the combination of my hair coming down into my face, along with the excitement of getting the treat itself, I sprung up like a cheerleader and I absolutely smacked my head on that freezer door. Freezer doors, they're not light, they're pretty heavy. And they will cause some damage. I call this a freak kitchen accident. However, as Mark was saying about the accident, it can just be jarring. In my case, not only did I have the actual hit that, which was originally just considered a concussion, but I also had whiplash. So whiplash definitely can play into how severe your symptoms are and what you're going to have to do to try to get back to where you were, or even closer back to where you were. But definitely a piece of the puzzle. So if you had an accident, whether it was a freak kitchen accident or a small car accident, if you have whiplash and you're having neurological symptoms, get checked out. I definitely am a big person to say, go to the hospital. If you get hit in the head, I did not go to the hospital right away. That delay could have caused a lot of problems. It's been 2 years of me fighting and learning and seeing many doctors trying to get back. I have some pretty severe symptoms. I no longer can drive due to sleep attacks that I get that I did not have prior to the head injury. I actually had one while driving. Luckily, no one got hurt. I rolled into some grass. I was already slowing down, so all was well. But I no longer can drive for those reasons, and I'm terrified to do so. And I certainly wouldn't want to hurt anybody or myself. So I abstain from that. But among other things, I do walk with a cane. It's a taller cane than people normally use. It's called a posture cane, and I use it mainly because of balance issues. I have severe vertigo and a lot of dizziness. That's before we talk about, the headaches, the constant migraines, I've got visual problems with blurry vision, double vision, um, goodness gracious, nausea from all the dizziness. It really changes life. It changes life. And it's, while it's been, it's been a learning curve getting here. I have learned that slowing down really helps more than anything. And learning to slow down is the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. But it's been worth it, and I'm still working on it day by day. And I'm always trying to be an advocate for my health and my health care, and try to keep good records. And I even keep a timeline. I keep a timeline of doctors I've seen. I give that list to everybody. They get that. It's part of my medication list. So they actually have to copy it and put it into records. So a lot of this, a lot of things that we'll talk about regarding the mTBI, one of the things is definitely be an advocate for yourself. Nobody knows what you are going through more than you. You hear my stutter. I did not stutter prior to the mTBI. I have come a long way with my stutter through cognitive therapy. Man, if you've got cognitive problems, cognitive therapy, push for cognitive therapy. They are excellent. They were the most understanding of this situation out of all of the medical professionals I've seen, including the two neurologists, and even someone at the Concussion Institute. I saw someone at the Concussion Institute, and even still, cognitive therapists truly understand kindly what we're going through. And because they help people every day with these head injuries. So if you really are looking to get help with things like the cognitive problems, whether it be memory, time management, and I had the speech problems, they can really truly help. So don't hesitate if you are able to go to cognitive therapy.
Do you have any like memory or like processing or organizational or other issues like that?
I do. I have a lot of memory problems. Actually, if you ever ask me a question where I'm having to remember something, I'll actually close my eyes so that I can focus on remembering, because it's almost as if when my eyes are open, that it's taking too much from my brain to process both. So I actually will choose, to just close my eyes so that I can remember. So I have a whole system built on my phone that between working with my regular therapist, which I advocate for, along with cognitive therapy, definitely seek therapy, because not only, will it help with your, the acceptance, which that's a big part of it. But they also will help with other things, like we came up with a color coding system for my calendar on my phone. So the doctor's appointments are all tomatoes.
No.
Because we would like to throw tomatoes at our doctors more often than not. And the bills are all bananas. So, and we know why. But it makes it easier for me to remember. And honestly, I think that would be a good system for anybody. Just, I mean, just even using those two colors to just quickly identify kind of like what you've got coming up that's important. And if that doesn't work, pick colors that do. Your phone will be your greatest tool, but you have to use it. If you do not input the data, it won't go in there.
Right. And you got to remember it in the first place.
Right. Right. And here we are with all these memory problems.
My wife is always about using the calendar, but it's like, I got to remind her that sometimes I forget to use the calendar. I forget to check the calendar. I know she's annoyed that she's got to like say, hey, Mark. And I'm like, but I got to remember to look. And sometimes I miss stuff that's, attention problems or focus, these executive problems.
I will tell you, it was a process making myself use the calendar. So after I started, making myself use it, which of course there's still times I forget. I'm far from perfect, but it's getting it in there is the main thing. But once you start getting it in there, then move to the color coding, and then and make sure you're putting in extra notifications. Like I'll do a notification 2 hours before something, because that gives me time to kind of prepare, to do whatever that is.
Now, has it affected you socially or emotionally?
Yes. You lose friends. Your family, well, not just for, we'll just say friends and family have a hard time understanding.
Yes.
And people can't understand something, they tend to back away.
Yeah.
It's not because they don't care, it's because they don't know how to properly care. That's from what I've seen. But I have several friends that we don't speak at all anymore, because I have limited energy. There's only so many things I can do in a day, which we'll talk about a color system that helps with that too. But not today, but
right
yes.
Now, I mean, I just want to keep this relatively short, just introducing.
Right, yeah. But as
all
far
of us struggle with loss of friends and family. They don't quite understand because we're different. And now those of us who met after, it's a little different, but yeah.
But support groups, support groups, go on Facebook, go to check out your local directories, find support groups of people that understand what you are going through, because that has been, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I would not be sitting here talking to you more confidently about this situation if it wasn't for me joining support groups from the very beginning and being active in those support groups.
Yeah, no, definitely true. And I strongly would agree with you, like 100%. You need to find like support from people who understand. It's difficult. And we mess up too. And even like survivor, sometimes we goof up, it's like, and each one of us has different clusters of problems. Some of us have more emotional, some of us more cognitive, whatever. And so sometimes communication is difficult and we mess up. And it's important to remember that other survivors, it's like our communication may not be so great and we mess up a lot. And so it's like for family and friends, like who knew us before, whatever, please give us some grace to the normal folks or neurotypical or whatever you'd like to call them. I sometimes jokingly call them straights or whatever. please give us some grace. Other survivors, please give us grace. You know, and it's like, we will always mess up, but it's like, understand it's not intentional. It's not meant out of malice. And family members, caretakers, it's not meant out of. Now, obviously, you need, if you're a caretaker, you need to take care of yourself. I have a series with Lisa, who's my other host. We talk about the needs to, you know, like, help support families, and there are a lot of resources to help families. You can turn to like the rehab hospital, ask social workers and other workers where you can get help. And there are a lot of community and family resources and things like that to help families while recovering. You do not have to do this alone. You don't. There are resources out there. There are even legally mandated resources, financial as well as interpersonal, and therapists who can come to your home and other things like that, whether it's mild TBI or whether it is severe. There are resources to help you as adults and for kids. Adults too, there are resources. And we'll be talking about that in an upcoming, we'll be talking about adult things to be aware of too. And again, whether it's mTBI or severe. Oh, and one quick note about the whiplash thing. That isn't just like, that's a term a lot of medical providers and others threw around from the old days when it was just like, oh, you get your neck hurt. No. That is a specific type of traumatic brain injury. What they're talking about is acceleration, deceleration injury, which can lead to coup and contra coup damage to the frontal and the occipital poles. Very serious, as well as temporal. So it is important to keep in mind when discussing that often can lead to a lot of behavioral, emotional, cognitive problems when you see that kind of thing, if there's enough energy in the acceleration, deceleration injuries. I talk about that in one of my pathophysiology videos. I know, boring, yes, but it is important to consider that kind of injury can leave you with lasting damage. And if you are not seen, if you're fuzzy-headed, confused, or whatever, and you don't know you've got a problem, you can get secondary brain injury as well due to edema, and it's even possible that you can get a bleed, which can be fatal. So it is important, if this happens to you and you've got loved ones around and they notice you're having problems, you need to go to the emergency department so they can do a CT scan and MRI, okay? Just wanted to bring that up.
Oh yeah, right away. I cannot advocate for that enough. I did not break the skin. That's why I did not go.
You don't have to.
Right, exactly. But at the time, I thought, oh, this is just another bump on the head. I'll put some ice on it, and tomorrow will be another day. And there hasn't been a day since that's been the same as it was the day before that.
Many times what you'll notice is like if you start getting more and more sleepy, you may get nauseous, you may have vomiting, dizziness, confusion, disorientation. These are all red flags that you need to be evaluated, that there's increasing edema, pressure in the brain. And it's all luck of the draw as to the outcome for these kind of things.
Right. Yeah, and just don't chance it. Period. Just
Correct.
don't. If you get a head injury, it's best to be safe than sorry.
To be assessed. Correct. And I want to do first aid, stuff like that at a later point, and how to do a basic assessment, but that comes later. Things you can do, things you look for.
Right.
Okay. I just want to thank you for sharing. Oh, that one quick thing. What do you do currently? I mean, are you, what is it that you do currently? I mean, I know advocacy is one thing.
So currently I'm not able to work due to sensitivities and cognitive and physical fatigue, along with the balance. It's just not a lot of things that can, accommodate that. But for now, as far as what I do, I just really focus on my recovery.
Yeah.
I do some sales for CBD.
Oh yeah. That's what. Yeah, I knew you had. That's what I was looking for. You do some sales of CBD, which is. I had mentioned this also about the use of CBD for treatment for certain symptoms. That was what. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's actually one of the best ones I found. I don't get a lot of pain relief from the doctors, because I am 35. They often look at me as you should be happy and healthy, even though I hurt quite a bit from this injury. So I actually found Raffarub. It's 3-ingredient, undiluted. It's extra virgin, cold pressed CBD. So you're getting that very first pressing, and it's not diluted like a lot of the things on the market. Which I found, a lot of the CBDs that I tried, kind of junk, but this undiluted, oh man, it's like it soaks in. It feels so good. Now, if anybody's interested in that, they can get that at raffarub.shop and use code CBD Magic with a K at the end, MAGIC. I'm sorry, MAGIK, and you'll get 10% off your full order if you're interested. Truly, I haven't found anything else that's undiluted like this. So if anyone's interested in something that's really going to touch that pain, and it does pain, skin issues. It can be used for just about anything. So.
All right. Yeah. Now, I personally cannot advocate for anything as a medical professional. I mean, this is one of those things where there's a lot of research that is, does support. However, personally, I cannot advocate for or against, neither can, it's like, but I will say that, it's like, you need to figure out what works for you, because again, each brain injury is different. And for some people, and the understanding that the muscles, the tendons, all those things, they're all very sensitive. And it's like our necks and our heads and how they're supported, it's kind of weird. And so it's like understanding the anatomy means it's very sensitive. And so this is why you get a lot of headaches and neck aches, things like that. If you look at how structured, like if you look at one of the headache videos I have where I talk about why you get cranio-cervical headaches when there's damage to the neck, and in those whiplash and head strike injuries, why those headaches are very common, and not to mention the delicate vasculature as well. We checked one of the videos, but I do want to thank you, and so welcome aboard, and so thank you very much for sharing, and we will be seeing you again. So
I am very glad to be part of the team, and I look forward to helping anybody that I can.
Oh, yes. And that's one other thing I want to mention. If you have any comments, questions below, if you want to ask her about her sales and products and things, just below, and I'm sure she can get in touch with you. That is her section on mTBI, Concussions mTBI, and so you can get in touch with her, and if she wishes to share her email address or direct you to the company or whatever, feel free. We do not endorse any particular product on this channel. However, our hosts are permitted to, like, if they do something particular like that, they're more than welcome to share that kind of information, but then you need to get in contact with them privately. But they are welcome to share anything that works or helps for them, because each brain injury is different. But keep it in mind. So again, if you have any comments, questions, anything like that, or suggestions, anything you want to see, please comment below. Please click like and subscribe. Please share these videos. This is how people get to see them. And have a good day. Bye.